According to a 2019 report from the Australian Institute of Health and Welfare, 1 in 4 Australians reported that they had experienced an episode of loneliness. The condition of being touch-deprived, otherwise known as skin hunger, has been compounded by the global pandemic and social distancing requirements. Sex workers, who have long been at the coalface of the loneliness epidemic, have turned to digital forms of intimacy to maintain the connections they make with their clients. Jenna Love and her client Andy agreed to share their story.
I'm Jenna Love and I'm a full-service sex worker. Full service means basically that I have the sex. This year I spent a lot of time being kind of a virtual girlfriend as well. Obviously COVID-19 came along, so I didn't do any in-person work for 3 months, which suddenly meant more than 80% of my income was just gone. And I kind of reacted to that quite quickly and went, okay, well, I'm gonna have to do something else. And that's when I started advertising things that I hadn't done before.
Services like the virtual girlfriend experience had unexpected benefits, Andy explains.
At that stage, I'd been single for 2 years, so it was nice to have someone to talk to about a lot of different things and feeling very comfortable knowing that there'd be no judgment on either side either. But there was like that period of time when we didn't really know like what was going to be going on. And then I must admit, I did think, oh, mate, we're going to like get the chance to see someone, any time soon. And so, yeah, that definitely was like, how the hell am I going to cope?
The issue with isolation, with loneliness and with depression that hasn't been kind of addressed and explored was around well before the pandemic. And yeah, sex workers knew that because they're our clients. We see that.
Some people see a sex worker as someone that just has sex and that's it. But it's not. It's a lot more than that. They invest so much more in themselves and what they're doing and who they're with. Like they put so much of themselves out there and into it. And I think it's a lot more than people think.
Some people will make the argument that, humans, sex is a need. And I think that, some people go, well, no, it isn't, because there are people who live in nunneries and et cetera. And, we can survive without sex. But I don't know if we can survive without human connection and intimacy.
Gala Vanting is the National Programs Manager for the Scarlet Alliance, which is Australia's national sex worker association. She explains how digital technology has allowed some sex workers to reach more people in need.
There's a question about loneliness, and I think that the pandemic has raised a lot of questions about loneliness for all of us, and about how we foster connections without capitalism, without the infrastructures that we are used to having to contain those intimacies. I think sex workers really provide such an important service on that front because they offer instant connection, for people who couldn't necessarily, aren't brave enough to go and pick up at a bar, or who, for many reasons, cannot access that kind of environment. And so I think that there is definitely something missing in the community when sex workers are unable to provide that service in person. And I know that not all clients are going to get a satisfying exchange without that face-to-face interaction.
And is there any place online that you want to direct people to who may want to support sex workers?
Scarlet Alliance is running an emergency relief fund for sex workers. So that's on Chuffed, so chuffed.org, and you can just Google Scarlet Alliance Chuffed. And so we provide payouts on a weekly basis to sex workers who apply for the fund, and that link as well can be used by sex workers who want to apply.
This has been Josie Hess reporting.